What's going on, everyone? So, Riley Minix, he had his most memorable moment, right, with the game winner. But beyond that, if I'm being honest, was a little underwhelming, right? Like, one of the big questions going into the summer league is, what do you do with Riley? What do you do with Harrison Ingram, right? Those are kind of the two guys you're kind of watching. Are they going to stay on the roster? Are they going to kind of let them go? Are they going to bring them in on two-way? Like, what are they going to do with those guys? And made a video on Harrison Ingram. And, I said, like, he just didn't really do what you wanted him to do. And I kind of feel the same way about Riley. Like, he wasn't bad by any stretch. Like, if the Spurs were, I would actually keep him over Harrison Ingram, if I'm being honest, just because he's bigger, 6'7", slot in at the 3, play the 2, right, shoot the basketball. Like, there's benefits to Minix. But I'm also okay if they just were like, hey, good luck to you. Go, find greener pastures elsewhere. Just because, again, like, he didn't really do anything that you look at and go, that's the kind of guy we need. And it's just like, where do you slot him in? Right? Like, if he just, like, you look at a David Jones Garcia, he was their best player by a long margin. He was one of the best players in all of Summer League. Right, and he's 23, right, which is younger than Minix. Minix is 24, right? He's a guy that you was good enough to justify, right? Even him, you can make an argument like, okay, like, where does he slot in between Dylan Harper and Stephon Castle and De'Aaron Fox and Devin Vassell and Keldon Johnson? And, right, it's like, where do you find it? But he was so good, you figure it out, right? He's worth the justification of bringing him in, right? You saw him at 3, you saw him at whatever. You figure it out. It gives you that 6'6" versatile scorer, right? He could be, your new, a DeMar DeRozan type, right? Whatever, right? You figure it out with him because it was justified and you saw the things that you wanted to see in Summer League to warrant that. You didn't see that with Riley, right? Like, again, where does he slot in? He's probably best at the 2 or the 3, but you have, like, several guys that can play either of those positions. You're not going to play him over, like, a Carter Bryant. Like, he's coming in to basically be your 14th, 15th guy. And it's just, again, there wasn't if he was like 20, 21, then yes, absolutely. 21, maybe even 22, right? But it's like, okay, you're going to spend the next 2-3 years to develop him, and then he still might not be where you, maybe a rotation guy during the regular season or whatever, but you can find those guys, right? Like, I would almost rather just go take a risk and a gamble on somebody else, right? Like, I've talked about, an Imani Bates or somebody like that, right? Like, at least he's 6'9", has NBA experience, was a great defender and 3-point shooter, right? Gives you the athleticism, gives you that upside, and he's younger, right? Like, something like that. I'd rather you almost do and go that route or that manner, or bring in a more veteran guy, right, to kind of help with the young core and pieces. Like, the last thing they need is another young guy that is kind of iffy and questionable, right? They just traded those guys and ran them and Wesley, right? Like, it's just, now you're going to bring in another guy, and Minix, who I just, again, he had that highlight, that memorable moment. That incredible. I mean, look, it was an incredible game winner, and that game was amazing. It was an amazing game. But he just, beyond that, like, what did he do that really stood out to you? He was okay defensively. He wasn't terrible defensively, but he wasn't like so good where it's like, man, like, at least you can use, like, Carter Bryant was not great offensively, but his defense was so good and his versatility is so good, and he's so young that you're like, yeah, that guy's gonna be a stud. Like, I didn't feel that way about Minix, right? And the shooting was great. He averaged 13 points, 4 rebounds, 1.5 assists, half a steal, and a block per game. Shot 52% from the field, almost 47% from 3-point range, 100% from free throw line. Like, that's great. Like, the numbers are great. But again, it's just, is he going to do, is that, like, if he's 47% for 3-point range, then you just bring him in as a designated 3-point shooter. But it was very limited, right? Like, I mean, even his point total, you look at the last 5 games, right? Hornets, 9 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, a steal, no blocks. The Utah Jazz, 13 points, 6 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal, 2 blocks. Okay, good, versatile game, right? Then you had the Mavericks game, 9 points, 5 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal, and 0 blocks. Then you had the Sixers game, 14 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists. Then the Lakers game, 8 points, 2 rebounds. Right? Like, so, again, like, he's a guy that, he had his moments, he had his games, right? He basically gave you, 9 to 14 points a game, which is where he averages out 12.7 points per game. So, he showed promise. Like, I don't want to, I don't want to make it act like, I don't want to act like he was like some bum, right? He wasn't a bum. He was good. But was he NBA level good? Now, maybe you bring him in on a two-way and kind of give him an opportunity. Sure. Right? If you want to bring him in on a two-way, kind of get a feel, kind of see if like, hey, let's see if he can kind of translate and do better, kind of see what he looks like in the G League. But even if he's killing in the G League, like there's a lot of guys that are just clearly too good for the G League. I mean, they are like the Jordans of the G League, but they're never able to make that leap in the NBA. We've seen a lot of guys come from the G League to the NBA and just never, like, they're just essentially bench warmers or into the bench guys or spot minute guys that you're playing in garbage time or whatever, right? Like, so again, but if you wanted to kind of keep him under the Spurs banner, to kind of keep an eye on him and see if like, okay, maybe he kind of continues that, play him some spot games here and there, a guy gets the night off or whatever, right? Boom, you're bringing in Minix and letting him kind of, like, let's see what he could do. Let's see what he could provide, right? And, if he goes off, it's like, okay, let's see what he does next game, right? And, kind of give him, try to see what you can do. But again, it's just like, if you bring him on the main roster, who are you playing him over? Right? Two, it's like, is that the best option that you could do to bring? Like, I'd rather bring in a David Jones Garcia, right? I'd rather bring him in than bring in Minix, right? So it's like, okay, can't even justify that. Yeah, you have another roster spot. Do you want to bring that in? But again, it's like, is that, sure, he's the 15th guy, fine. But I'd rather bring in somebody that you like are high on, or like I said, that vet. Because if you're going to get a guy that's not going to play, I'd rather go get a guy that like is willing to come in and kind of be a mentor and kind of help and work with these guys in practice and help develop these guys. Like, think of how good Chris Paul was for this team last year, right? Like, if you can find somebody that is willing to kind of come in and be that mentor, it's why teams keep guys like Udonis Haslem around for years and just pay him just to be the 15th guy because of what he did to the young guys that were coming in, right? Jared Dudley was that kind of guy, right? You see teams keep those guys because there's value in those guys. Right? So I'd rather just kind of go that route than bring in a Minix who, again, I didn't think he was terrible. There was nothing that he did that really was just like, man, you need to bring him back. Right? We need another look at him. I just felt like he was just kind of like, he did what he could do, which is fine. Right? And there are some teams that probably could use him and need him, but I just don't think that the Spurs are that team. I don't think the Spurs really need him just, warming up a bench seat. I think that the Spurs should just go a different direction, move off of him, and kind of, find a newer option. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion. Pass a question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments. What do you think? Do you think that they should keep him? Think that they should move off of him? Kind of mixed in the middle. Either way, love to hear it. Let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Else, not. If you enjoy these types of videos, truly appreciate it. Not subscribe to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one.